Merry Christmas, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy New Year.
This is not a Grinch right here. This is Lou DiBella.
Happy holidays.
And you know, the sport goes up and down and all around. And my friend here,
Tevin Farmer, the uncrowned 30-pound champion.
Why don't we start? You had a card here at BB King's tonight. We had a
Tevin Farmer
Farrar main event against
Will Madera.
Will Madera.
Two undefeated kids.
It was a draw.
And they're still undefeated.
And let's go through that quick before we get to the point of contention with Farmer. Basically, one of the takeaways from this card was new signee Alicia Napoleon wasn't able to fight. Lou, because why?
Her opponent had a medical issue in the pre-fight physical a half hour before the fight.
That sucks. Your young heavyweight, George Arias, is 9-0. I love little George. He's not little, but he's not
sort of
tall.
little. He's not a big heavyweight. He's a short heavyweight.
Yeah.
But George Arias can fight. He was a terrific amateur. He's, since I've signed him, he's been in exciting fights. He's got good power for his size. Look, there's a lot of big boys in the heavyweight division, and that's going to make it a challenge for George. But I got to tell you, he's got some skill. He's got some boxing ability. He's got some punching power. He's low to the ground. A la Mike Tyson. Though I'm not comparing him to Mike Tyson.
There's a little bobbing weave of Frazier and a little Tyson.
Yeah, he's got some good skills, and I think another 6-7 wins we'll be talking about George. In a big picture.
And you know what? You know who put asses in seats here tonight? This Irishman, Larry Fryer.
Larry Fryer
didn't look bad at all.
Larry Fryer was a terrific amateur.
Yeah.
This was the first fight that I put Larry on a card. I thought he looked great tonight. Very exciting kid. He's got some good boxing skills. That's why he had the amateur career he had. But he's a typical, and I say this in the best sense of the world, a typical Irish fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's any guys out there that sort of got a little bit of Mexican in them, it's the Irish guys. And they come to fight. They move forward. They brawl. They're exciting.
I would definitely not go to the bathroom or to order food when Larry's fighting. I like Larry.
Yeah, I like Larry too,
Yeah.
and you'll see Larry a lot more. Look, New York's the natural place to keep building Larry, and you'll see more of Larry Fryer.
You have a plan for 2018 as far as how many of these cards you're going to have?
I'll be back in New York City more often. I have to.
Okay.
It's costly. It's hard to do shows here in small venues, but the reality is this is where I'm from. This is where I promote. We'll be back in New York City a lot more often next year. We'll also be with our friends at Foxwoods in Connecticut, a great venue for boxing. And we'll be at Foxwoods, a few times next year on a fairly regular basis. We'll bop around a little bit, maybe do a show in Cleveland, maybe do a show in New England, but a solid 6 shows, Broadway boxings in New York City next year.
That's a perfect amount. Any news on Tevin Farmer? The Farmer fans still buzzing about it days later. We deserve to win. What's going on with that? Lodging an official protest, or what do we do?
At IBF USBA, if you're on Twitter, go to their Facebook.
Tell them.
People go. If you saw that fight and you saw what I saw and you saw what most people saw, Ogawa's a tough guy. No disrespect to him, but he didn't win the fight. And I had it 9-3, and I wouldn't have complained if you had it 8-4, and I wouldn't even have complained if you had it 7-5, and you rewarded ineffective aggression. But there is no way on God's earth that Tevin Farmer lost that fight.
Does Tevin have to fight in a different style moving forward to get the judges to do the right thing?
First of all, he fought half that fight moving forward. He didn't back up the entire fight. That's what really pissed me off more than anything. But Tevin's going to learn a lesson from that fight. And it's that when you're not a knockout artist, when you're not a Salido or Roman, blood and guts, take every punch to the face and give back everything you're taking, you're not that kind of fighter. You got to win really super decisively, or they will rob you. I mean, I wonder really in this environment today where UFC is so popular because of the immediate gratification, where people look. I love the Gaddis and the Wards. I love the Salidos and the Romans. I like those kind of guys. But the aim, boxing's a science, and the aim is to win, outscore your opponent without getting beaten up. And that's what Tevin Farmer does. I think you're going to see him fight more aggressively after that because he's going to feel like he had to. But I got to tell you, he won that fight clearly.
And that won't be bad for him. That will only help him moving forward.
Yeah, but you know what, man? Like, you don't deserve ever to get robbed.
No one ever deserves to be robbed.
I don't think that was like a close fight that could have gone either way. I don't view it that way.
I don't either. January 20th, back to the Barclays Center. Errol Spence,
Look,
young gun. What is he? Top 10? Top 8? Pound for pound? Where's he on your list?
Top 5.
Top 5.
Already. And in a couple more fights, he's going to be top 3. And then you know what?
And he wants all the big fights.
He wants everybody. And by the way, Lamont Peterson is the fight because
He is
really,
the consummate tough out, I call him.
Look, Lamont Peterson has got some great wins on his record. Lamont Peterson's a terrific fighter. And right now, with who is available, one of the best fights that we could make for Errol Spence is Lamont Peterson. And Lamont Peterson, it's going to be a good fight for Errol, a good learning experience. I think Errol is super elite. I think Lamont Peterson's a real champ. So I'm looking forward to that fight. There's nothing about that matchup that I think fans will be disappointed by.
We have a Dominican coming in also. Javier Fortuna is going to be taking on
a very tough
Robert Easter. Fortuna will be the underdog, but not by too much.
No, but he'll be the underdog. And look, I think Easter is a terrific talent. Fortuna comes to fight. He's got a big punch. He's gonna give it everything he has. I think that's a good fight. I'm gonna load the undercard with good fights. We'll be announcing more.
Give me names.
I'll give you some. You're gonna see Marcus Brown on the card.
Nice.
Yeah, you're gonna see Marcus Brown on the card. We'll announce this fight shortly. You'll see some other really, really good fights. I have a couple of. Cindy Serrano will defend her BO title against a girl that she beat in a close fight in Puerto Rico. It was controversial, not in the sense that whether she won or not, but a lot of people thought it was a fight that was sort of a one-point fight. She got a sort of a bigger decision. That girl earned her way to the WBO mandatory, and they're going to fight. Cindy will defend her BO title on the card. And we have a couple of really good fights we'll be announcing early next week. A couple of super competitive fights, one at 154 pounds and one at 175 pounds.
And what do you got going for the holidays? You got a ski trip? You going to the Swiss Chalet again, bro?
Man,
what do you got?
No,
Swiss Chalet?
Man. It's Christmas time, bro. It's for family.
All right.
I'll be I'm going to be hanging out with family. I'll be around the New York area. There's no place like New York at the holidays.
New Year's Eve, what do you got going?
Man, New Year's Eve, I'm sort of like I'm of the belief that it's amateur hour, and I sort of hang a little bit close to home.
Hang back and watch the fools step in them.
No, you know what? Like New Year's Eve, I'm not a big go out and go nuts guy. I go out and go nuts when it's not so common.
What else? Do we ask everything?
Man, I think we asked everything. Happy holidays, everybody. God bless you.
Thank you very
Happy
much.
New Year.
We appreciate your services and support.